So in high school, we had to raise money for these bats, and we could engrave however we wanted. And this one has my name on it, Nelson Guerra. But this one, I'm like, I gotta do something different. So I wrote, "Aim here" for all those pitchers who want to aim right here.
Welcome back to another episode of the Home Run Porch podcast. I'm Kevin.
I'm Madison.
And we are going to talk today about getting a ball at the stadium, which
probably one of the most electrifying feelings ever.
Yes.
It starts when the ball is like that time where it's like you can rule out that it's not coming towards you or it is coming towards you, and it's like, am I about to get ready to push a grandma out of the way?
Well, I'm close to that. My story is close to that. I'm 55 years old, and I have been going to games since I was 5, so I've been going 50 years, and I didn't get my first ball until 2010, so I was 44 years old when I got my first baseball. And the thing that sort of it was a foul ball. I'll tell the story right now.
Yeah.
So we got tickets. My son John was 11 at the time, and we were going to the new Target Field. Had just opened that year. It was the first year, so 2010.
Season,
yep. And we were going to the game, and we had seats in the outfield. Out in left field, we were going to go, and blah, blah, blah. So we're walking there, and we're at the main entrance there that we kind of enter by right field there. You can enter anywhere there in that stadium, but we're standing there about to go in maybe 10 minutes before the game, and a guy walks. He sees my son, who's little, sees my son. He goes, "Hey, do you have tickets to the game?" And we said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Where are they?" And I said, "Well, they're out in left field." And he says, "I got some buddies that didn't show up. Would you like these tickets?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Because usually, like, you run into, like, a scalper or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like you don't think you'll have a good interaction.
Yeah.
You just, like, keep walking.
Yeah.
But
And
this guy was like, yo.
He just gave us the tickets. And it was like he wasn't going to use them. And he saw the little kid, and he thought, by the way, have a little kid when you go to a game because it's magic. So I was like, "Thank you." And John was so excited. And John always brought his glove. And he always made me bring my glove. So we had our gloves and the whole deal. And so we get there. And now they're on the first base side. They're 15 rows back, about between home and first. They're great seats. They're fantastic seats. And so now I had these left field seats, these good seats on the first baseline. I'm like, so I said, John's like, "Well, let's just see if we can sell these real quick." And so we stood out there for a few minutes. No one wanted to buy them.
Yeah.
I was going to sell them for basically nothing.
Right.
And finally we decided to go in. So as we're walking in, the game starts. So it's 7:10 or whatever it is. And we're walking in, and I'm like, I'm looking at the thing, and I'm trying to figure out where we are and that sort of thing. And so the first batter comes up, and I don't remember who it was, but they were playing Detroit Lions, that I remember. And so
the Tigers, you mean?
I said Lions. Oh, thank you. Yes, Detroit Tigers.
That'd probably be a quick game, honestly.
Yes. Yeah, we're playing the Tigers. And sort of 2010 season. And so we get there, and we're starting to go down. People are already seated. They've been seated for a while. And we find our aisle. We can see the guy that gave us the tickets down the aisle and stuff like that, and we can see the 2 empty seats. And we're like, perfect, okay. So we start to shimmy. Everybody has to stand up. We're starting to shimmy down the aisle, and it's like halfway down the aisle. And right as we're getting to our seat, we haven't sat down yet. Ryan Rayburn of the Detroit Tigers, so it's the top of the first. He must have been the second or third batter, whoever he was, hits a foul ball. Now, if you're going to go to a game, first base and third base are great places to be because a lot of foul balls are hit there. There's way more foul balls than there's home runs. You're not going to get any home run balls. So and it's one of those towering ones where he hits it really high up. Yes, it's straight up, but then it drifts. And I didn't notice it. I mean, I was kind of watching, but I saw him hit it and foul it, but I didn't track it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, he hit a foul, and then I'm still going for my seat. And then I see everybody around us start to. We're right in front of our seats now, and everybody stands.
Oh boy.
So I mean, like everybody. So like 1,000 people stand up, and so I look up and start to track the thing, and I've got my glove, and my son's got his glove, and I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay. Now, in front of us is a 75, 85-year-old woman, all right? She doesn't stand up. She is seated there, okay? She's completely clueless. I think she was eating nachos or whatever. She is not tracking the ball. Her son or grandson, who's probably 25, 35, whatever he is right next to her. He's tracking the ball. He stands up.
This is also before like extended nets on fields.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, there's no nets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was high enough it would have gone over the top. Yeah. It wasn't like one of those line drive fouls. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is coming towards us. This is coming towards us.
That's a moment where you recognize that, yes, it's in the air, and it could come, and then it's to that point where it's like, yep, this is coming to my general direction.
Yes.
We have to get ready.
And it's whistling. I mean, a Major League foul ball is not like Little League foul ball. This thing is just whistling. It's coming so fast. And people reach, you always see the crush of the 10 people around where it's going to all kind of come together, converge on the ball. And no one gets it. Now, here's what happens. The old lady is sitting in her seat, right? The ball comes down right directly and lodges between her hip and her armrest on her left hip. I mean, it was just like
it's not loose at all. It's just right there.
And she is the seat directly in front of me, right? Yeah. And it just shunk, and she doesn't. It doesn't hit her.
Keeps eating her nachos.
You could tell it just kind of the way it went. It was just snuck in the pocket and stood there. It wasn't like it hit her thigh and then rolled there, and she was in pain or anything like that. It just went shunk right that. And it was one of those moments where she was completely oblivious, and it's like, oh. And so she has this brief moment where she kind of looks around and then looks down. Right now, I'm right behind her.
Yeah.
Right.
Go for that thing,
What you think? So I reach down and I snag the ball. I just reach down and grab it. I grab the ball, and she's just kind of like, I didn't know what happened. The guy next to her is obviously with her.
Yeah.
He looks at me like, what are you doing? Like, that's her ball. I didn't dig in her purse to take the ball. I didn't take it out of her pocket. I didn't pickpocket or anything like that. Yeah. The ball's free game.
Yeah.
He looks at me and he does that. So whoa, and he thinks I'm going to give him the ball.
Yeah.
And a couple people around thought I was going to give the ball. But you got to understand, I am 44 at the time. Mm-hmm. I have never gotten a ball. This may I don't think it's automatic.
This could be it.
Yeah, this could be it. This might be my shot.
Yep.
I'm not giving the ball. I'm keeping the ball. And he was mad. He's sitting there. He's kind of muttering under his breath. And
I think like at that moment, like people turn into like what you say people feel at the end of a Monopoly game.
Yeah.
Like hate each other for a split moment and are really jealous of the person who's got the ball.
And for me, it was like I'd never gotten a ball before, and I just wanted to say that I got a ball at a game. Had this been the 30th ball I got or something crazy like that, it would have been no big deal.
Yep.
It would have been no big deal. But I got that ball, and my son John sitting next to me. Now, this is a son who's gotten 15 balls at
already.
Games. Yeah, already. This kid is the most lucky person you'll ever meet, and he's gotten them at batting practice. He's gotten foul balls. He's had people that got him and handed to him. Oh. He's had the deal where if you sit on the first base side,
they'll flip you the ball.
Yeah, the first baseman, if he gets the last out, will come and he'll chuck it, and he'll often point at a kid and throw it. And he's gotten a couple of those. So he's gotten balls before.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a ball. I was a kid once. I never got a ball when I was a kid. So I keep this ball, and I turn to him, and he goes, "You're going to let me have that ball, right?" And I said, "No."
I love you, son, but get the heck out of here.
I let him hold it during the game. He goes, "Well, I'll just hold it and keep it." He had like a row of balls that he got at games in his windowsill in his bedroom, and then he took it and put it up there, and I was like, because I wrote on it, Ryan Rayburn, I wrote the date and stuff like that. Now there's a tragic ending to the story. We moved. A couple years later, we moved and we rented a U-Haul and moved stuff. And when we drove about 60 miles from the first place to the second place, and when we got to the other place, the sliding door, we hadn't secured it, had gone up while we were driving, and 2 boxes fell out, and one of the boxes had all those baseballs in it, so I lost that ball. So that's my one baseball foul ball story, and it hurts that I lost the ball, but I don't regret grabbing it from the lady.
Imagine what that grandma feels. Nothing, because she's probably dead.
Yeah, she's probably dead by now.
She doesn't
she's
care
probably
anymore.
Dead by now.
But I haven't been as lucky as John has been. Like I've had a few Like a ball was given to me when I was at like one of my first Twins games by an usher.
That counts. I think that counts. Okay, that counts.
It's like what does count and doesn't. Is it like I've caught foul ball? I've gone outside of like Newman Outdoor Field for the Red Hawks, and I stood outside the main entrance, and foul balls have cleared the back.
Yeah.
And so they've rolled off the top of the stadium, and I've gotten one of those.
Those count. Those count. I mean? Oh, okay. A bit ago you were saying, no, I've never gotten a ball.
No, but
those
like,
count.
I feel like there's another tier to like catching a home run ball, catching a foul ball, being thrown a ball by a player.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, my son, you go to the game a little bit early and you go for batting practice, and oftentimes the players will, sign a ball and hand it to you. My son's gotten one that way. He got a home run ball at batting practice, which I forget what it was. They're stamped, and it said like practice ball or it didn't. It wasn't a regular ball. Yeah. And I think the reason is they don't rub it with that special mud and stuff like that. He had one of those.
Or it's like even like I remember, was it for like one of the home run derbies? Giancarlo Stanton hit, maybe one of his homers in there, or maybe it was during the playoffs one season, and the guy who caught it posted a photo of his hand on social media, and it was like puffed.
Oh, because it hit it so hard. You could
barely see his pinky almost, like, because he caught it with his hand, and now his hand is like
okay.
It's like, would you go for like a home run with your hand?
Okay.
Or are you a hat guy that
I would probably do the hat, although I don't bring my glove to every game, but I would probably do the hat. I was at a game, this was years ago, when Dave Winfield was still playing. Dave Winfield, I've met him before. It's just this muscular, Adonis specimen of a man. And I was sitting at a game where I was in the home run porch in left field at the Dome, and when he was playing for the Twins, and he hit a home run that was a line drive. And the home run porch was sort of empty, and it was 10 seats down and 2 rows back, and it hit the back seat of the seat square. And it sounded like
it cracked or something.
It did. I don't think it cracked because they had that hard plastic, but it sounded like literally like a gunshot. It was that hard. It had that hit somebody, it would have killed them. I mean, that's how hard it was hit. And then it was too far for me to go get it.
Yeah.
Two more near misses for me.
Yeah.
This would have been 2007. I was at the Dome, and we were in the home run porch, and I was probably 30 rows up, too far up to get a home run ball. Somebody's really not going to hit one that far up.
Right.
But I was on the aisle, and my son was sitting next to me, and Matt Stairs for the Toronto Blue Jays cracks a home run, and I'm tracking it, and I'm like, oh, it's going to hit the aisle. It's going to hit the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, little side story. I had my glove.
Mm-hmm.
It's sitting in the seat in front of me, and I'm not exaggerating. There's a man that was 500 pounds. Easy.
Yeah.
This mass of a man sitting there in front of me, right? And I go, that's going to bounce. The ball's going to bounce. And I jump up, and sure enough, it hits the cement and comes careening up, and I'm there. It's right on the aisle.
Yeah.
And I put my glove up, and I'm like, I'm going to get this.
Is this on a bounce?
You've seen it bounce already? I've seen it bounce, and it's coming right for me, and it's slowing down, obviously. Yeah. This is great. I'm going to get my first ball at this point, and I'm excited. It's going to be a home run ball. Yep. My son's like, yeah, he's screaming. The 500-pound man was able to get out of his seat.
Yeah.
And he moves, but it's gonna pass him. I know. I can track it.
It's gonna bounce again and pass him.
No, it's just gonna bounce the once, and it's gonna go over him. It's gonna go right in my glove. It's aiming for my glove. My glove is right there.
Yeah.
Right. And I see it go into my glove, and I'm like, yeah. And I start to close my glove, and my glove won't close. I had stepped out. He'd stepped out. He was a step or two in front of me.
Yeah.
He laid his hand into my glove, in the palm of my glove.
So, like, you felt the impact of the ball hitting.
I felt the impact of the ball, but his hand was laying inside the glove.
Are you serious?
And then he's holding up, and he's on the Jumbotron holding the ball up, and there's a picture of me just looking at him going, like, I cannot believe, so maybe is there such thing as pre-karma? That's why I took the ball from the old lady or something like that. That is not my best home run story. Here's the foul ball story. This would have been when Kirby Puckett was still playing. I was there with my friend Benjamin Quincy Bowen, second deck on the right-hand side above first base. Kirby Puckett hits a foul ball, and it's coming for us. And we are right next to the tunnel where you come out, where you get to go to the bathroom and stuff. And a guy's walking out with a tray, one of those cardboard trays, 4 beers and nachos on the tray. And he looks up to look at his seat, right?
Yeah.
And he's standing the thing. And the ball's coming for us, and I realize, it's a little bit off. And my friend Ben sees that it's going for the tunnel. He jumps the railing.
Oh, right.
And he lands right behind the guy. The ball comes down and hits the middle of this guy's tray. I'm not kidding.
Boom.
Beer, it just explodes. Beer goes flying everywhere, nachos go flying everywhere. And I'm holding on the railing looking down, and Ben is behind the guy. And the ball lands on the ground, and it stops right between the guy's feet. And he's startled, and he reaches down. He's like, I'm going to get the ball. He reaches down to grab the ball, and Ben reaches between his legs and snags the ball. And the guy is furious with him. Furious with him.
Not only has he lost the ball, he's lost all of his beer and
everything.
nachos.
And Ben got the ball, and then when we were walking out of the stadium, he gave the ball to a little kids because we were probably 20 at the time. So it was pretty cool, but and it was like a Kirby puck baseball. He didn't give it to me, and I didn't ever got a ball at that point, so I was kind of a little bit miffed. So anyway,
it's a kid thing,
it's a kid. Yep. If you get a chance, sit on the right field, first base, third base. Those are the best places to get balls.
Definitely.
So I hope that everybody gets a baseball at a game sometime. So this is another episode of the Home Run Porch podcast. I'm Kevin.
I'm Madison.
Thanks for listening.